Hello, gentle viewers. This is App Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. I'm very proud of myself, by the way, for not saying 25. Yeah. I'm the king of the world, unlike the Chicago White Sox. Our first season wasn't great, but we've got a lot of work to do. And if nothing else, we have changed the team. This is a different team than we had last season. Old friends like Chase Meadroth are back. Jorge Barros is new. Jesse Winker is new. Aurel Luis Martinez is new. Kyle Teal is an old friend. Miguel Vargas is an old friend. Chase Young is new. Jesse Franklin is still around. And Tiso Ornelas is new. Pitching staff, Burke was here before. Martinez is new. Schultz is new. Wright is new. Iriarte is an old friend. We have Chris Martin, who's new. Fairbanks is new. Leiter is new. Lee is new. Shane Smith was here last year, and he sucked, but he was here. Burkhalter's new. Wilson is an old hand, and Jonathan Cannon is an old hand. So we're definitely an all different White Sox. We have made significant changes. Are we better? I don't know. Because this team is so young, and let's look at that. Let's break that down a little bit here. We have one starter over 30. One. That is what we call a young team. Which means the variance for how people are going to form is really high. Really, really high. None of these guys is at their peak yet, with the arguable exception of Jesse Franklin, who a very kind commenter pointed out. I'm going to get you the name. I'm trying to be better about that. With OOTP 26, I'm trying to get better about mentioning people's names. Because I think it's cool to be called out on a YouTube video, as long as it's not for something like rude, like what an unbelievably stupid comment. You should rethink your life. I'm not about that. I don't do things that way. Nope. There we go. So, thank you to everyone who's been commenting. That's always a very cool part of doing these videos. It makes me excited. For sure. Here we go. Let's see here. Yeah, so Ironhead 34 is the one who brought up the point about Franklin. Do we think he's gonna regress? I think he's a decent candidate for it. Mostly because his batting average is reasonable. His eye is reasonable. His power is reasonable. It's not that completely crazy to assume that he doesn't have, say, another decent year. But I think it's also very possible for him to backslide. What's our clearest indication of that? Let's take a look at his batting average on balls in play, his BABIP. It's 315. We don't expect him to be able to hit that well. His isolated slugging is really, really good. Again, probably not realistic. He was on site 16 times last year, poor dude. So yes, I think it's a fair statement that he is a candidate to regress. I think it is equally a fair statement to say that he might stick around. It's just really difficult to say. So thank you, I134, for that comment. Around the World Sports 3063 tells us that he is the broadcaster for the Chicago Dogs, which is really cool. He actually got a chance to meet Peyton Eels. And he is 5'5", which kept him from being drafted. So for those of you who are Peyton Eels fans, or Ely, as he probably doesn't like to be called. Where is Senor Eels? Where did he go? Here he is. So, yeah. I hope he makes it, both in real life, and I think he'd be a cool addition to our current club. I just want him to get some seasoning here in the minor leagues. So, the other thing that our friend from Around the World Sports is very kind enough to help us with is how to say one of our other new players' names. Oh, this is a mistake. I can't remember how the guy's name was spelled, so you're going to. I beg your indulgence momentarily. There's a lot of Garcias, guys. A lot of them. There's a large, non-trivial number of Garcias in Major League Baseball history, which I'm sure is a surprise to absolutely nobody. Oh, I see. I see. So it's going to be somebody is on a team. Then where is my Garcia? Where did he go? Oh, if I can't find him here quickly, then I will look. We'll do it this way. Let me do this as minor leagues. Name. We're gonna sort by name. Oh, did we not end up taking him? Maybe. But anyway, the guy's name is Yostinson Garcia. Yostinson. Maybe it's in my complex. Maybe. We must not have picked him up, or maybe he has moved on to bigger and better things. But so very cool story. He led all professional baseball and on base percentage last year. In real life. So congratulations to Eels. Um, and let us hope that that he continues to succeed. So yeah. Okay, enough about players who might be. Let's talk about the players who are. Was he injured? No, he's not injured. I don't know where that guy went. It's not that important. What is important, however, is continuing to complain about the fact he keeps resetting my scouting. That's rude. I only care about my scouts. Stop trying to give me OSA's nonsense. All right. Most important thing we had to consider is that we are. When is the combine? June 7th. We have the number one overall pick in the draft, which I think is crucial. It's going to be an absolutely massive piece to us having any kind of success going forward. We've got to hit a home run, pardon the pun, with this draft. And it looks like this is a fairly deep draft. Literally anybody is on the table. Hopefully we get some more information about them going forward. Yeah. Just give me the default. That's all I care about. Yeah. How in the fuck is he an 80 over? Oh, never mind. I get it. I don't think so. I don't think so. 130 strikeouts and 249 at bats. That's strikeout percentage of almost. That's a strikeout percentage of more than 50%. Right? Oh, it doesn't list it there. Oh, because I'm at the wrong level. Right. Oh, because it might be strikeouts per plate appearance. So it might not be strikeouts, period. That's a true statement, I think. But either way, he is not the guy. He's got the potential to be a really interesting player, but I need somebody that's a little bit more of a sure thing. And he is definitely not one of those. Tyler Spangler, I could get behind. Nice, well-rounded offensive skill set. Pretty fast. A legitimately good defender in the infield. Tyler Spangler is on my short list for sure. Andy Baez is also a pretty solid choice. I can't help but notice a theme that my scout apparently likes people to strike out a lot, which makes me sad because I don't like that as much. Brady Harris. If we're thinking more long term, he could be a permanent center fielder for us, which would be pretty tasty. Yeah, so we got tons of options here. We just got to give a good hard think about what fits us best for the team. Manny Reyes, I'm joking. I'm not going to take reliever with my first overall pick in the draft. Um, do we want a starting pitcher? Maybe. I feel like we have so many holes to fill that I have to be open to any possible approaches. So let's just keep it going. Let's just get some baseball under our belts, right? Oh, we gotta add some people to the main roster. Oh, there he is. I don't know why I couldn't see him before. So this is Jostinsson. His nickname is Password, evidently. So let's get that corrected. That is his actual nickname. Let's call him Passport. Not his name. Don't be stupid, me. Anyways, yeah. Right. We have to give some people their flowers. Who does not have an official Major League roster? Oh, Bernie Martinez is the guy. Okay. And then everyone gets to go to the minors. Here we go. We're gonna monitor this, and we're gonna see how stupid the game gets about putting people on the DFA list again. Like I guess at a certain point, oh, Seth Lugo's career is over. That's a shame. I guess at some point we just had to trust my scouting director and my assistant general manager, maybe. I don't know. Player development. Cole Seamus is throwing harder, which is pretty good, but he's also losing control, which makes sense. Generally, the harder you throw, the harder it is for you to throw strikes consistently. So I get it. When White is throwing harder, a lot of people throwing harder. We're excited to see that. Some people not throwing as hard. Neat. Okay, Logan Lunsford, you didn't have a lot of room to lose velocity. Dropping velocity isn't a great look for you, but that's okay. I don't like the fact that our highly touted prospect lost velocity. That concerns me. That concerns me a lot. He did pitch a lot last year, though. Almost over 170 innings is a lot for a young arm, although he is past the injury nexus. So I'm expecting him to be an important piece of the puzzle. All right, let's be about it. Let's sim the month of April. Again, in case you're new to the series, you haven't watched you play OTP before, you don't want to fixate on statistics early on in the season because you don't have enough statistics to have a significant sample size. Do we have room for Blake Trinan on this roster? I think the answer is most likely yes. I'll take him over Shane Smith because he does have more of a pedigree. And I'd like to get some veteran leadership in the bullpen. We saw no lefties in the bullpen, which is very interesting to me. That's kind of funny. I should go to the Noel Ryan Museum someday. That'd be pretty cool. Not Batista, not Aldrin Batista. However, will we survive? I mean, he's kind of a nothing burger, so I'm not gonna cry about it. Again, we're looking for forward progress. That's our goal. Miguel Vargas missing 4 weeks is not going to help us reach that goal. Oh my god, game. What an update. I wonder if this is partially intentional, but also partially getting rid of an exploit. It's not going to let us give him a 60-day injury because he isn't actually out for 60 days. Easily a great way to hide players on your roster. So I'll take it for now. It stops you from doing something really stupid. And in Colson Montgomery, you can come up to the big leagues. Who's going to play first, actually? Between the two of them, it's Rhys Hoskins. Reese is just the better player. So then again, Colson Montgomery is the younger player. Um, we could do a cheeky little platoon. That's fine. We can do that. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm not fine with Miguel Vargas being hurt, but it is reasonably acceptable for us to have to replace a first baseman. I think that's acceptable. Chase Lee got a little bit better. I'm not saying a lot of people getting a lot better, but I'm also not saying a lot of people getting a lot worse. Apparently Shane Smith is better as a starter, but I don't know that I agree with that statement. We want to add prospects anywhere that we can. That's going to be the long-term strategy that makes us a successful team. Poor George Volkov here actually had a chance to be an above-average major leaguer, and he's just kind of like took a big old poop. Eels is cracking out hits like they're going out of style. Damn, son. Okay, you definitely get to be shortlisted now. Seth Keener got 15 Ks. Nice. If I were so inclined, I could manage the minor leagues myself. Let me know if that's something you want me to do going forward, if that's something you would find interesting. Um, yeah. I mean, that's a pretty good start to his season. Reese wants to be a everyday starter. That's not going to happen. Not with this team. Benny Martinez, or Bernie Martinez, excuse me. I keep calling him Benny, but it's Bernie. Mr. Martinez, either way, is the player of the month for May, which is pretty April, which is pretty cool. We're just gonna go right into month 2. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna pause. We're just gonna let things ride and see where we are and see what kind of changes we might want to consider making. Bryce Wilson's out for 3 weeks. That's acceptable. Wait a minute. Did they do something else too? No, they didn't. Did they? Huh. There was a couple seconds ago. There's like a couple of extra like dashed lines. I don't know what that was a reference to. If it comes up again, I'll take another look at it. I need a new reliever. I think it means if Shane Smith comes back. I think he's just the best fit at the moment. Okay, Sean Burke's getting his head crushed, but again, way too early in the season. Okay, Miguel Vargas can return. Colson Montgomery hasn't done terribly, but he also hasn't covered himself in glory. So having Vargas back is nice. I definitely wanted him to return. I think Rhys Hoskins probably should go at this point. I just feel like carrying a second first baseman isn't the best use of a roster spot right now. Especially a guy's not even going to play that much. Let me see if there's a market for him. I didn't pay very much money for him. Surely somebody's interested in Rhys Hoskins, right? There has to be somebody somewhere that is interested in him as a baseball player. Even a little bit interested, I will take. Okay. You know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Ethan Pecco is an okay pitcher. Okay velocity. A nice slider. Really good slider, actually. Decent curveball. Likes fishing. I guess that's fine. Pascal Ferraris rather. I don't hate him. All right, we're gonna try to get greedy. We're gonna try to get Paco and Ferraris. Can I have both players, please? What if you gave me Sal Ruiz? Okay. I had to try. Okay? I can get both of them. Is there anybody else that I could grab? Bryce Matthews. I wouldn't hate having Bryce Matthews in my system. That may be a bridge too far. Let's see what sort of response this gets from you. Because that's actually a trade I'm interested in making. Almost. You're wanting something in addition. I mean, Gerald Rosado has the potential to be a pretty damn good pitcher. I don't really want to give him up. Peyton Pallett. Ah, okay. Like, his base ratings aren't anything interesting, but his pitches are really, really good. And he throws fairly hard. I think this is a player I'm comfortable giving up. Because I do think Bryce Matthews is far more valuable to us now and in the future than another mid-tier arm would be. Could I get really greedy and ask for another player like Cam Smith, maybe? Could I get Cam Smith? No. Okay. I think Cam Fisher might be a more reasonable ask. Let me see how that... Okay. Done. 100 times over done. That's the right decision. Rhys Hoskins is never going to have a big role in this club. Peyton Pallett, let's shortlist him to see how he does over time. But I really like this return. We get quantity and some quality. None of these guys are likely to be world beaters, but they're all likely to be useful pieces. I think this is the right call. I think it's a good move for us. Yeah. Really digging it. Okay. Now the question is, what do we do with that roster swap? That is a good question, isn't it? Who's the most major league ready of my prospects? Do we bring up the man, the myth, the legend? No, I think we let him cook in the minors a little bit longer. I think we let him cook. It's probably either Matthews or Montgomery. And Matthews is pretty competent at three positions, and he's already got plenty of time in the minors. I think there's nothing left for Bryce Matthews to learn. Let's immediately call him up. And let's generate ourselves fresh depth charts and see what's happening here. It's not that I don't want Garcia to play, it's just I don't want him to play everything. I don't want him to play this often. 135 games is fine. The rest of this is okay. That seems fine. Let's go. That was a good trade. Like, it's not the kind of trade that's going to win us a World Series, but it's the kind of trade where we're doing exactly what we're supposed to do, which is taking veterans and trading them for other people. Bryce Wilson, go back to the minors. We don't want you here. Yeah, you kind of suck, my dude. Maybe. Let's try to trade him. Actually, let's see if there's anybody that would want him. He's not far removed from having a decent season. I just don't think he's got a role in this current team. I'm gonna try to sneak him through waivers and see if that happens. Probably not. Oh no, Jerry Reinsdorf died. What a tragedy. Chris. is understanding, charitable, hands off, and he wants to win. That's awesome. I do think you're hilarious in thinking that we're going to reach the playoffs this season or anytime soon, but I like it. Welcome Chris Reinsdorf to Okay, Draft League is going to be happening soon. We'll get to see some of the rookies get a chance to play. That's pretty cool. All right, some nice improvements for people. Yeah, Noah Schultz has already regained his velocity, which is good. Um, Nothing too crazy here. I do like that Steven Martinez is improving. That's really good. If we can get a high quality player out of him, that's going to be lovely. Keep working on it, bud. Keep working on it. Okay. So we now have 2 months into the season exchange. Most players should have about 200 plate appearances, give or take. I like the team home screen because it gives me a nice, clear overview. And oh my lord, we're struggling. Our pitching staff is mediocre. Our offense fucking sucks. We're not scoring runs at all. Aurelvius Martinez hitting 180 is kind of gross. Okay. I mean, frankly, this is probably too much to have accepted. I probably asked too much out of Jesse Winker. He is getting on base, so I still value him for that. But this is not a great look for this team. We have some pitchers that are just god awful in the bullpen. Like they're just not good pitchers. Are they being victimized by terrible defense? It's certainly possible. Let's pick a guy at random. Let's take a look at Chris Martin here. Yeah, his BABIP is ridiculous. He's just getting hammered. The question is it just because he's getting old? Blah, 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 blah. Let me look at your expanded pitching stats. I want to look at your FIP. You would be better if you had a better defense behind you. Okay, so fixing the defense seems to be an important consideration to help our pitchers get more out of their lives. Because Lord knows this offense isn't getting it done. We have one competent hitter named Chris Teal, and the rest of them are terrible. Which is very yikes. There's not a lot to like up and down this lineup. Um, because we are so young, I'm halfway tempted to just let it ride for a month and then revisit things in July. Because it's not like we have really talented rookies beating down the door. The one exception is Hagen Smith. Mr. Smith is probably somebody I'm interested in calling up in the near future, especially since he has AAA kind of figured out. But another month of development time is certainly not going to hurt him unless he gets hurt, I guess. Um, let's fix the defense. That is something I am interested in doing. I need to know who is so terrible defensively that we're struggling mightily. I mean, Jace Young isn't helping. He's not that bad, though. Yeah, I feel like he just needs more time, and he'll figure it out. Hmm. Let me make my custom fielding stats. Yeah, because I need to know, like, how they're messing up. All right. Um. Okay. Or need less isn't great. I think our biggest problem is we don't have somebody who can take over defensively. It's not that we necessarily have bad defenders, it's that we don't have good ones. Um, when your second best defender is your first baseman, that's not a great look for this club. Yeah. Is there a better defensive shortstop? The problem is that Meadroth is actually an okay hitter. So I don't want to lose him. I don't want to get rid of him. I don't want to get rid of Jace Young either. I don't want to get rid of any of these young infielders because I think they all have some potential. But I do want a new starting shortstop. Is it Luciano? I think we have too many second basemen on this club. Like, realistically, we have second baseman, third baseman, second baseman, second baseman, second baseman. We don't have a shortstop. We have four second basemen. Um, do we have a solution to that problem in house? Not really. And they're all young, so I don't want to give up on any one of them yet. But they're all like mediocre defensively. Which is probably costing us the odd game or two. But let's be realistic here. We're just a bad team. Like, it's not like making one or two moves here is going to change anything drastically. A veteran shortstop to provide some defensive support isn't a terrible idea. All right, let's check and see who's available on the trade block. Let's at least have this conversation, right? It is under. Nope. Make a trade. Trading block. I feel like Nathaniel Lowe would be a nice addition to the lineup, but he's not solving any problem that I actually have. Hmm. I feel like adding a veteran when it's not going to matter is probably not a good idea. I think our better chance is to simply take somebody who's more established and turn them into a shortstop. What is Ernie Clement's deal? It's not a very good deal, is what it is. Regents Gleyber Torres is not very good. Brendan Rodgers is another second base. Any shortstops? Look, let's customize the filter, right? Let's do choose. I'm looking for 55. Just give me a 55. Does that person exist? Yes. Isaiah Connor Falefa is a possibility. Sergio Alcantara is a possibility. Nicky Lopez, Kevin Newman. These are all good defenders, but none of them are really standout defenders. I like Jermaine Palacios defensively, but he has very little offensive skills. Maybe that's still worthy of a contract offer, maybe. Is mostly 55s as what's wait, why the hell is he showing up? He's because it's potential to 55, I see. Okay. This might be something that gets fixed either during the offseason or the trade deadline when people are eager to get rid of high priced players. For right now, though, it's not a big enough deal for me to get too invested in it. Yeah. I'd like to be adding on Sergio Alcantara, though. I think he offers us a lot of flexibility and a nice, someone a bit more polished. I actually like the idea of adding him onto the roster a lot. Let's see what, if anything, this offers us. Will Bryce Wilson accept a demotion to AAA? If it won't, he's probably just going to be cut. Yeah. You know what? I will check some extra boxes here. I'd like to get something for Bryce Wilson instead of nothing, which is currently what I'm looking at. I'll even take on a bad contract that I can get rid of quickly. Um, if it's somebody that at least has some sort of value in the short term. Hmm. None of these guys interests me. Yeah, none of them. I mean, it's obvious it wouldn't be available for trade if they were very good. But I don't see grabbing any of these guys except for maybe Jerks and Profar, and even him. I don't know that he fills any specific role for me. I think maybe we just let Bryce Wilson see greener pastures. Remember, he's the one guy that we re-signed in arbitration. That was clearly a mistake. Hmm. Yeah, I shouldn't have done it. Oh well. Yep. Somebody else can bring you along. Um. All right, Alcantara. You have a skill set none of my current backups have. I want you on the major league roster. So the question is, which of these three shortstops goes to the minors? And I think it's probably Bryce Matthews. Um, I could be talked into it being Luciano, and maybe Luciano is the right play. Is he? I feel like especially since Luciano is struggling so badly, that maybe letting him play in AAA a little bit longer is reasonable. And then Alcantara is going to slide in and become our new backup. And I really think that's a good fit for this team. He offers veteran leadership. He offers some defensive capabilities. I'm into it. I'm 100% into it. Every 5 games is plenty. 5 games and 5 games. How is our good friend Jostine's son doing? He's not doing great. He is not a top quality player. That's for sure. All right, let's get combining here. All right. Interesting. Okay, everybody that's blue is getting added to our combine. And I feel like position player is the right word to go, not Briones. And then let's look at the pitchers as well. All right. So let's try to get some more accuracy on all these guys. And see if that makes a difference here. Nice. Like, the only way for us to get drastically better is to add free agents or add veteran players. And the thing is, I don't want to do that because I think it hurts us as a franchise. Okay, that's what it is. There's these 2 extra dashes here. What do I do if I pick a dash? Oh, invalid transaction. Okay. That's weird. I think it's just a little visual glitch. It shouldn't even be there. Now we can pick CDI, 60 IL, which we will. I do need to pick up a reliever to fill his spot. Is it time for Hoggins to make his major league debut? Probably not. I feel like I'm being cruel to him. Like he's just like, oh boy, now I finally get to make it. Nope. Okay, this layout annoys me. I don't like the injured list being like in the middle of the screen. That's kind of silly. Here we can designate it for assignment here. No, I like it where it is actually. Injured list. And then I guess leaving that as a trading block is fine. I'm not that worried about it. Alright. So I don't think it's Hoggins Smith. I think Hoggins Smith, I want him to get more training time in the minor leagues. Although he's having an amazing season, I don't really feel that there's a value in rushing him to the majors. You know what I need? I need a lefty. Are any of you starters actually lefties? Do I seriously don't have a single lefty of any note? I sure don't. Interesting. Okay. Tanner McDougal is not a lefty. Neither is Ethan Pecco. Yeah. Hoggins Smith is a lefty, but I'm not going to do that to him. I'm not going to turn a potentially top tier starting pitcher into a mediocre reliever. We're going to use Mr. Rosado here. He's going to slide in here to be a middle reliever. Chris Martin is cooked, but he's also being victimized by a lot of bad batted ball luck. But that doesn't explain his drastic uptick in walks. This maybe isn't his fault, but the walks definitely are. His walk rate has doubled since last season. I just think he doesn't have it anymore. Is somebody willing to take a flyer on him? I guess is the question. Is this somebody that could potentially fetch me a prospect? Maybe. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, maybe yes. Okay. Let's try to step this up a notch. I will pay his salary for the rest of the year. Can I get a green level prospect for that? Or is it just yellows? It's just yellows. Okay. Let's look at a prospect package. I want 2 yellows. That's my price. Oh, hello. Here's a green. It's Big Christmas. How did he end up here? No, it's not on my... I know it's not... He's not on my team, but I feel like this is his actual nickname. I think it's really cool to have it in there. So, yeah. Okay. Alright, let's start with Jhonkensy Noel. He's a really good power hitter with okay skill at first base, but not very adaptable. Definite possibility. Carson Rocaforte is also decent. This is not a terrible package. It's not. But I could maybe do better. Let's look at this package here. Hurston Waldrep is a genuinely good pitching prospect. Like there's a lot to like about him. His raw ratings here aren't that great, but his pitches are nice. He throws pretty hard. Um, and he's got some okay minor league numbers. He's interesting enough that I'm willing to consider him. Jonah Cox is a legit center fielder who probably needs better offensive help, but he's at least an interesting prospect. An interesting might be the best we can do. Carter Dorigi is fine. This is an okay deal. Can we do better? H.U. Ewing is really good defensively. Really, really good, but he's kind of a zero with the bat. Luis Rodriguez has little to offer. Alex Ramirez is a fantastic defender. This helps us a lot with our outfield. I don't think it's the kind of deal that I'm interested in, but I do like what's on offer here. I think Alex Ramirez could be a really solid player if he figures out how to hit. But I think that's also a very big if. I feel like the package from Atlanta is what I'm supposed to take. I just think that both Cox and Waldrop have the chance to be useful players. And even Dorigi here is pretty decent. I'm going to discuss this. And I'm going to see if I can get you to offer me another prospect. Can I add in Carlos Rodriguez? Okay. I have a type. I acknowledge this. But the big batting eye, big hitters that are really fast and play great defense is always somebody that I'm going to fall for. I understand that. But I think it makes us a better deal. Um, let's submit the offer. Almost. You're wanting a really good player in exchange for it. I'm not willing to do that. Let's go down the list a little bit here. Sabine Ceballos is a pretty decent first base prospect. He's nothing truly special, but I can live with it. Can I get one more prospect? Is that permitted? Can you play defense? You're a very good defensive shortstop. Can I get Artiaga? Um, his offensive skill is next to nothing, but I need a good defensive glove in the system, and he currently offers that. He is genuinely a good defensive shortstop. So let's submit this offer here. Okay, they're wanting more than I'm willing to part with. Which I kind of thought would happen. If I drop Ceballos, does that move the needle for you? It really doesn't, and the people asking for it are people I'm not prepared to give up. What if I drop Dorigi as well? Okay, we're getting movement now. It seems like I could theoretically add a player and make this happen, and I really do want his glove. Austin Martin is somebody I still believe in a little bit, but I don't believe in him as much as we need a good defensive infielder. Colson Montgomery is somebody else I could consider trading, but I still think he's got something to offer us at the major league level, and I don't want to let him go until I'm sure that I don't need him. I'm not getting rid of Eels or Young. Barossa has done absolutely nothing for us at this point in his career, but I feel like I don't want to give up on him too soon. But maybe that's okay. Maybe that's what I'm expected to do. Or does that just make a bad defense worse? I could give up password here. I could do that. I don't think I'm going to though. You're not getting Schultz or Smith. That's ridiculous. I think it's Martin. I think this is a good enough trade. Um, can I get another player now? Now that I've moved for you, can I still get Ceballos? Maybe. I do like Ceballos. I do genuinely like him. That's fine. I do need a new reliever. Um, which is reasonable. I'll retain all of his contract, and I don't give even half of a fuck. I don't want pitchers that are good at defense on shortstop. What? Nelson Cajo, I will absolutely sign. Like, I'm not going to play him right now, but he's a really good pitcher, and I want to see him in my system, please. Hmm. You know what, Brennan Bernardino? I do need a lefty. I think he would fit this bill quite nicely if you're willing to consider it. I'm gonna sim a couple days, but I think he'll sign pretty quickly. I suspect. Yep. But that was an obvious thing that he was gonna be happy to get a job offer. So I will. Where are we gonna pitch him? He's gonna be our lefty killer, I think, with a little bit of middle relief as is appropriate. Pete Fairbanks is actually having a pretty good season. I think we promote him to closer. Not there's gonna be too many save opportunities. Um, and then I think setup becomes Blake Trinan. I think that's how this works out. Okay, cool. I feel good about that. I feel really good about it. I don't feel so good about Jairo Iriarte, but I think he's another guy that's being victimized by bad defense. Oh, the walks are troubling. Hmm. Our expectations have to be basement level. Like, we can't have high expectations for this team. It's just not realistic. Um, we don't have a ton of offensive talent. Like, our two genuinely good hitters are Mydroth and Teal. And everyone else ranges from mediocre to actively terrible. We need offense in this organization in the worst way. Um, and that may just mean that we take some time in a future season and add some people. Maybe that's the right answer. I don't know. Jesse Winker missing 2 weeks for the concussion is fine. Yes, he's been really bad. I think Cam Fisher is interesting. I think he is worth calling up. Are you a good defender in left field? You're a bad defender in left field. So I think you slot in nicely as our DH. Oops. No, 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 no. Sorry, buddy. There we go. Oh, do you have somebody that like destroys right-handed pitching? Is that an option for us? What about you? You're pretty good against righties. I think this is your chance to get some regular playing time. Unless we pull Jesse Frank, though Jesse Franklin's a good defensive outfielder. What about Tirso Ornelas? He's also pretty decent. Yeah, okay. Cool. And then give me new depth charts, please and thank you. I wanted to if starter tired now. Because I just think it's better. Especially with him playing fairly frequently at DH. I think that's an important choice to make. Aroldis Martinez is real bad. He's not even good at the thing he's supposed to be good at, which is hitting home runs. Hmm. Who's got a contract coming up? Kyle Wright, P. Fairbanks, Blake Trinan, and Tyler Gilbert, and Lennon Sosa. Okay. Kyle Wright is fine. I wouldn't mind bringing him back on the right deal. Hmm. I have the money to spend. This really isn't this big an ask, and he's still very movable if it turns out I don't need him anymore. I guess, right. The other consideration, though, is we're going to need to make a spot for Hagen Smith eventually. Does re-signing Kyle Wright preclude that? Probably not. Probably that's okay. Especially because Sean Burke has not been a great pitcher this year. I feel like, I mean, maybe we just need a better defense. Like maybe the defense will help us out, but I do think keeping him for 2 more years is reasonable. It doesn't make it any less tradable, by the way. If we decide we want to trade him, we can still do that. We need more green players, essentially. We need more yellow players to become green. That's an important consideration for us. Do we take a swing at a really talented young player? Is that a thing that we're interested in? Maybe. We also need better coaches. That is not lost on me. We need much better coaches than we have right now. Um, Basically, none of these coaches are guaranteed a spot next season. They're just not. Top 100 prospects. Hagen Smith clocks in at number 8. Nice. I mean, maybe back the fuck off, bro. All right. I think this is time for a coach bloodletting. I really don't think any of these guys are that good at their jobs. Matt Shirley is okay. But yeah, I think letting a lot of people go makes sense. I actually like Chris Getz quite a lot. I think he makes a pretty decent assistant GM, so let's give him an extension. I think that's reasonable. But yeah, we're gonna clear house. We're gonna clean house. We're gonna fire all the coaches. We're gonna get really good coaches in their place. Jason Bourgeois is worth keeping. He is worth keeping. He might even get promoted. I don't know. I think Jason Bourgeois is maybe the one coach on the major league roster that's worth keeping. Justin here is only good at teaching base running. That seems like a waste of a coaching spot. Sergio Santos I quite like. Let's give him an extension. Oh, he's already his extend. Okay. Scott Allred sucks. He can go. Jim Rickon is mediocre. Guillermo Quiroz is whatever. Like these are not great coaches. John Kovalik is okay. John Kovalik is somebody we can keep around. Nicky Delmonico is incredible. He's definitely a manager, not a first base, not a hitting coach, but he's an incredible coach with a lot of talent. I'd like to keep him around. Blake Hickman is just the fucking worst. Cameron Seltzer is okay. I think Cameron Seltzer can be given an extension of his very own. Yeah. But Chad Pinder's decent. I don't want to get rid of people just to get rid of them. Oh, we already have him for another year. Never mind. Jacob Doris is really great. He's not a very good pitching coach. He's a really great coach. So there's a lot of possibility for people to move up the chain quite rapidly. Charlie Romero is awful. Danny Gonzalez sucks. Oops, it reset. That's annoying. Bryce Spence is an amazing pitching coach. He's also pretty old, so he might not stick around, but he's right now. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up as our major league pitching coach next year if we decide to stay in house. I question the wisdom of having a guy who's good at teaching pitching as your hitting coach, but I'm into it. He's a good pitching coach, at least. I can promote him. Anthony Nunez is perfectly cromulent. He has many cromulent qualities, but doesn't want. Oh, he's already around for next year, right? Jose Brito sucks. Julio Bruno is another decent coach that is worth keeping around. Okay. All right. But there's going to be a bloodletting. We need to get a lot more talent in the coaching staff. And like, there's nothing Ethan Katz or Marcus Thames can do to keep their jobs. In fact, I think I'm going to make a note to fire them both. When does the off-season start? It starts... You know what I'll do? I'll do that at the end of this episode before we end it. I will fire them both because they're both doing a really bad job. The staff gets along, which is nice. Like, I'm happy for them on a personal level, but they need to not be here anymore. Sorry. That's just how it be. Okay, so Kyle Wright's gonna get a new contract offer. I think it's a very reasonable one. Fairbanks is okay. He's actually been one of our rare good bullpen guys. All he wants is a 1-year extension. I'm willing to give that to him. What if we did a 3-year deal, but I got 2 team options in it? How does that grab you? Look, at the very least, he's a good mid-tier reliever, and that's something that's worth paying a little bit of money to keep on the team. Trinan, I don't care about. Gilbert, I don't care about. Sosa, I don't care about. Trinan wants a pay cut, which is interesting, but I still think I can probably do better than him. So yeah, for right now, that doesn't really interest me very much. Okay, Fairbanks re-signed. I expected he would. Schulten's got a complete game shutout. That's very nice for him. And remember, this just makes them more attractive should we choose to trade people. Giving them a little bit of cost control. And we got Kyle Wright. Nice. Okay. This is a big draft. Maybe the biggest draft. Don't fan tourists. Oh, it's actually very nice of you to fan tourists. They're out. It's a hot day. You're like out there with like a little fan. I'm into it. All right, first overall pick. Let's fucking go. What do we got here? Okay. Chris Rainsford is an outstanding hitter. He is not a shortstop. There is no universe in which a guy who's a terrible infielder is a shortstop. I think he is a phenomenal hitter, though. I genuinely think he's got a lot of capability as a hitter, but in the outfield. Is that worth taking? I kind of want to see who else is available, right? Like, I want to see what else there is. There's Barry Waffle. I could be into Barry Waffle. He's got a great baseball IQ, work ethic, and adaptability. Amazing power stats. Not a very good shortstop. This is a third baseman. That's what I look at when I see his position. He's a third baseman. Probably a pretty good one, though. Sam Half can't play center. I'm not interested in him. Cody Zook is okay. I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm not getting anybody that really moves the needle for me. Briones ain't gonna happen. He's too limited. Happ doesn't have very much power and isn't a very good defender. I think he could be a good hitter, but he's not for me. Ransford is a pretty well-rounded corner outfielder. He's not a shortstop, but he is a pretty well-rounded corner outfielder. I could see taking him. I mean, Nate Robertson is just a fantastic hitter. Like, across the board, he's a fantastic hitter. I mean, taking a first base necessarily isn't tremendous positional value, but he's so smart and such a good hitter from top to bottom. I really think he might be the best pick. Maybe. It's hard, right? Like, it's a difficult decision to make. It comes down to Ransford or Robertson for me. Those are the two that I'm most interested in. And thankfully, my scouting director agrees, which is nice. As much as I need a high quality shortstop, I think I can get one in the second round. I think one of these guys will fall. So the question is, do we take Robertson or do we take Half? Oh, sorry, not Half. Ransford. Ransford is really good. Like, this makes me happy. This is a guy who's going to put the ball in play pretty regularly, and it's going to go a long way when he does. And he's not a terrible outfielder. Like, he could handle the position. We could DH him if we need to. I think Ransford is the pick. First overall draft pick. Chris the Bartender Ransford. Done. Wait, what? How's that the second pick of the first round? Are you drunk? Weird. Auto pick to mine. Auto drop to my next pick, please. Okay. Some really great players did fall, which is what I expected. This is what I expected to happen. I do want to shortlist Robertson. Who took him? Is he still around? He's not still around. Where is he? Oh, he went third overall. Yeah, that's fair. Can I shortlist him? I just want to see if I made the right choice. I have some slight misgivings about him, but I do think that Ransford's the better hitter. Okay. We need everything. We need all of the things, including pitching. I'm not going to take Busby. I will stretch a point there. I'm not going to take a fucking reliever with a hot draft pick like that. That's just stupid. Okay. Nate Fluellen. There's a lot to love here. There is a lot to love. Amazing stuff, good control, pretty good at keeping the ball low. Like 5+ pitches, 4 of which are plus, is ridiculous. I almost don't need to see anybody else. I'm genuinely shocked that he fell to the second round. I will happily take him. I am gonna look. It would be stupid of me not to, but I do really think he's the pick. Aiden Hinson is pretty solid. There's a lot to like about him too. This concerns me. Otherwise, he has 5++ pitches as well. A lot of projectability. Plus, a lefty having this much velocity, I don't know that I buy given how small his frame is. I don't think he's likely to hit his potential velocity, so maybe not. Maybe he's not a good pick. Chandler Hart is uninteresting to me. If he fell to the third round, I'd consider him, but I'm not going to take him in the second. Not when there's other choices that are just plain out better. His fastball sucks. A slider changeup is nice. I'm not going to complain about that. And he's got good characteristics, but he doesn't throw very hard. He's also a gigantic dude. So there's a really good chance he'll actually throw a lot harder than this projection. I do want to look at a shortstop. I do want to look at Adam Emerson and Tim Sutter before I make my final choice. Um, a perfectly fine player who happens to be stupid. I don't want a dumb player. Tim Sutter is not a very good infielder. Okay. It's Fluelling is my pick. He also went to Stanford. He's also going to go to Stanford, which is pretty cool. I'm just going to give him his bonus demand. I have the money. Let's do it. Next pick, please. Okay. Hunter Watson is a really good pitcher. He is a quality pitcher. But he wants to get paid a shit ton of money. How much money do I have left for the draft? Oh, I don't get to know that here. Let me go to the front office tab. I have plenty of money. If I truly believe in Hunter Watson, it's worth taking him. Okay, Robert Stewart is pretty amazing. He is a catcher, which is a position I don't exactly need at the moment, but he's a really good hitter. He's a really good defender too. I like him a lot. We could always trade him down the line. I think Robert Stewart's probably my pick. Ronnie Stratton's a pretty good all-around pitcher. There's a lot to like here. He is fragile though. Maybe not so much. I think you're too limited. I don't think you interest me that much. We already had thoughts about Tim Sutter, which is even that he's not a shortstop. I'm gonna take Robert Stewart. Top level talent is always a good thing to take. Even if there's not an immediate need for him right now, and there could be a need for him in the future. So I think this makes a lot of sense. Plus, we save a shit ton of money, which is not an untrivial factor. Okay. I think Ronnie Stratton is attractive because he has a fairly polished track to the minors, to the majors, although he is fragile. That makes him problematic. If you're a first baseman coming out of the draft, you have to be able to rake, and he can't. He's going to be okay, but he's not going to be like a top tier hitter. I don't think that interests me. Christian Doty adds another second baseman to the pile. I don't really think that interests me. Antonio Sanchez is decent. Nope. Mm-hmm. Nope. I'm already getting to the point where I'm not that impressed by most of these draft picks that I have as a choice here. I do like Ronnie Stratton just because he's got a fairly high floor. Which means he might be major league ready in the next year or two. So even if he gets injured, I think this is okay. I think he's an okay pick. And I will give him his bonus demand. Let's look at the sortable list. I want to look at people that have statistics, not people that have a potential rating quite high. I want batting potential, and I want BABIP. Mike Braden is such an interesting player. Like his skill set is very fascinating to me. This is a guy who's going to hit a ton of doubles and the occasional home run. I think this is interesting enough to give him a chance. I think this is an interesting enough decision. He's got enough tools that I think it's worth taking him. Let's do it. And I will give him his bonus domain because I'm just that nice a guy. All right, I'm looking now for guys that are well-rounded offensively. Antonio Laborde is. He is a catcher who's got some interesting offensive skills, but also wants a lot of money. I'm not going to pay him a lot of money. Let's sort by power, actually. This might be faster. As a lottery ticket, a guy like Brian Abernethy is interesting. As this is the kind of guy where a couple of tweaks to his skill set and he becomes a truly outstanding player. I'd like somebody that has a little bit more baseline to him, though. Trent Maben. Okay, I'm into this. Nice power, good gap power, and BABIP. He's going to strike out a fair bit. Good athleticism here. A decent corner outfielder. I think this is the kind of guy that we can get excited about. Let's take Trent Maben. Wants to get paid $1.3 million. I will just pay that and not question it. Oh, can I not negotiate during the draft anymore? That's a bummer. Okay. Well, that's fine. Oops. I don't know why I tried to do it like one at a time. Nick Ramirez is still here? I will take him at this point. He's a really well-rounded hitter, and I don't mind taking him in the slightest. Done. Auto draft. Okay. I feel like this late in the draft, Brian Abernethy is worth it. It's worth just taking a random flyer on somebody. Now let's go after pitching, because we do need pitching as well. And we're going to start with stuff. Okay. Jared Tucker, I like where your head's at. I know he's just a reliever, but I need those too, and he is a genuinely good choice. So we're gonna grab ourselves some Jared Tucker in our lives. Done. All right. Kyle Markovitz. Interesting. You're a fascinating pitcher. Um, you've only got one plus plus pitch, which is your curveball. You've got a plus pitch in the changeup, and then a good pitch in the fastball. Slider is kind of a throwaway thing. You've got good stuff, but the rest of your ratings aren't that special. I still think you're worth taking. I still think there's value in adding it. Unless Nick Webb is even better, which he might be. Nick Webb does throw harder and has some really good pitches. Yeah, I think Nick Webb is the choice here. Done. I will take Markovitz now. I think he is a useful pitcher to take. All right. Raw stuff from Roy Hoisington. Okay, I'm listening. He's gonna give up home runs, but he's got a nice mix of pitches, and he's otherwise a pretty talented pitcher. I think I can live with this. I think this is a good pick. Yeah. Let's talk about hitters. Who is left that inspires joy? Chris Pyle, I can definitely grab up. Oh, what about our good friend Trevor Diatillo? No, not really. Maybe. Maybe. I'm looking for good defense, actually. Okay, Corbin Dickerson is an absolutely outstanding outfielder. I feel like he's a good choice because if we can pull some hitting out of him, we'll have a tremendous talent. I like that for us. David Bauer's nothing special. David Bauer also can't hit at all. Uh, Joey Torres is fine. He's very, very limited in every sense of the word, but we're also talking about the what round? We're in the 14th round. You're just going to take lottery tickets at this point and hope that something really cool happens. All pitchers. Yeah, we could take Mike Contreras, sure. Like, I'm not even going to look at their detailed statistics because it doesn't matter that much to me. I'm just looking for people that have some decent skills. Um, I want a good control guy, like a really good control guy. Even if he's giving up on other skills, I think like a Brian Kanaga could be a pretty handy thing to have. Let's do it. Remember, that's where we got Ernie Jarvis from. We got a guy who didn't have great stuff, but had good control, and that's always valuable. Brendan Levy, we can bring along, I guess. I want my batting potential, goddammit. All batters, please. Yeah, I can take Kevin Hammers. What a name. What a guy. Kevin Hammers. You don't even need a nickname if that's your name. You're just like, my name's Kevin. Kevin Hammers. What a name. That's top tier content right there. Some more raw power guys. We can grab ourselves a Pete Kraska. And let's finish it off with AJ Shepard. That seems reasonable. So I don't think we have our superstar yet. I think there's potential in some of these fine gentlemen, but I don't think we have our true superstar yet. I definitely want a short list to keep an eye on Ransford and Flewelling and Stewart and Stratton and Braden. Yeah, basically anybody who's got green or higher potential gets flagged. There you go. 1.3 million is a pittance. I will happily pay you that money. It is a rounding error, dear sir. But yeah, like it's hard to see any single player in this draft being like a future Hall of Famer if that's our standard. Um, I think Flewelling's got a little bit better of a chance to get there. Um, just because he's so good. Ransford, he's got a lot of potential too, though. Not as a shortstop. This needs to stop immediately. But I think as an outfielder, he is a worthy pick. I'm not seeing anybody that's like ultra super mega sweet, but I am pretty happy with what we've got. I think it's a good draft class. It's a good start. I think we're coasting to another top draft pick, and I think that's good. I think it is a thing that we want to happen. We want to be in a position where we can just keep adding talent because we need all the talent we can get. I think Jesse Winker has to go. I'm not saying that Cam Fisher is like a megastar or anything, but he's certainly better than Jesse Winker, and he's a lot younger. I think Winker has nothing to offer us. If I eat his entire salary, what does that look like? Is somebody desperate for Winker? No. I will take a genuinely good player that we can flip at a future deadline or something. Josh Naylor is not a bad choice. I'm not getting you out of Matt Olson's contract, that's for sure. Um, Add on Caleb Ferguson. But I could use better bullpen guys, and as long as they don't cost me too much, I think it's a reasonable choice. Let's talk about Caleb Ferguson. And let me retain 0 of his contract and see if that changes the equation for you. Yeah, this is fine. I think Caleb Ferguson is far more valuable to me than Jesse Winker is. He's a really good reliever, and it's not like I am drowning in quality pitching, so yeah. Yeah. Too many people were flagged as starters, which is very confusing. Shane Smith, get out of here. Caleb Ferguson, you get a spot. And he's also a lefty, which is amazing. But I think he's good enough to be just a flat out middle reliever that can occasionally spell us against a tricky lefty. Yeah. You want a pretty substantial raise? Let me make sure you're worth it before I do that for you. But you're good at keeping the ball down, which is great. You've got some nice pitches here. You're a good pitcher. I think you're a pretty good one. But I am not going to commit to you yet. We get at least one All-Star. Probably Kyle Teal would be my guess. I think he's probably the only player that deserves it. Maybe. Maybe Meadroth. Maybe. Okay, Cam Fisher has been really good for us. That's one thing it's actually gone very right, which is nice. Maybe a Bernie Martinez or a Noah Schultz. I could see lots of arguments for who our sole All-Star will be. Let's find out. Good old Corey Lee. Mr. Rainsford, stop trying to be a shortstop. You can't do it. I'm going to slide you to right field. Yeah. Because you're never going to be a good enough shortstop. Like, I'm sorry. That's just how it is. Cam Fisher got 3 home runs in a single game. Nice. All right. Who made the All-Star team from CHW? CW, sir. It was Chase Meadroth. Interesting. Very interesting. It's not the wrong choice. It's definitely not the wrong choice. But I do find that interesting. Okay. I mean, hey, I'll take it. Even if he is, like so many other White Sox, really a second baseman in shortstop's clothing. He's okay. He's basically slightly below average, which is something. Hagen Smith makes the All-Star. Braden Montgomery does. Braden Montgomery is dominating in Double-A. I think he is on the short list to be promoted in the not-too-distant future. Hopefully he makes AAA by the end of the season, because he might be in the major leagues before you know it. 4 months for Fairbanks. That's really unfortunate. I was kind of hoping we'd get lucky. But it be like that sometimes. Waldrop, maybe? Smith. I think Smith just comes back. I think we just keep Smith on the roster for now. Yeah. There we go. Avoid high leverage, please. Trinan becomes the closer, and then my next best reliever is probably Blake Burkhalter, which isn't exciting, but is a thing, I guess. Maybe that's Caleb Ferguson. I don't know. Shea Langoliers is the best home run dude. I really wish that Fairbanks hadn't gotten hurt, but I also understand it. I just want us to get better. I don't necessarily want us to be good. I just want us to get better. So last year we won 59 games all of last year. We're already at 34 now. Um and we could win like 65 games. I'd be pretty excited, but I also realize that's probably not realistic. Um it could happen. Like it definitely could happen, but I don't know that I necessarily like our chances of it happening. The injuries can stop at any time, guys. Well, this is, however, a chance to debut Hagen Smith, so let's get after it. Get in there, bro. Be the best version of yourself and throw lots of pitches in a good way. A trade proposal for Blake Trinan. I'm getting an okay outfielder, a not terribly thrilling pitcher, and a second not terribly thrilling pitcher. I don't think this works for me. I'm not saying that I won't trade Blake Trinan, but I'm not going to trade him for that package. That package is kind of underwhelming. It lacks whelm. It is not an appropriate level of whelm for me to be interested. Lane Thomas for Jesse Franklin and Marco Luciano, that's just bad. It's a bad trade. You're bad for suggesting it. Remember, I'm not looking to be good this year. I'm looking to be good next year and the year after. So that's a hard no from me, dog. I don't hate Danny Velez. I do hate Ubaldo Soto. I know you're excited about this because Danny Velez is a really good high tool prospect. But the thing is, he can't play the infield. And his only real skill is not striking out. This is a hard no from me. I don't have interest in that trade. All right, let's talk Turkey. I'm looking for young, controllable players or people that have a lot of value that I could get rid of in a subsequent offseason. That I could like trade in the offseason maybe if they have like a good year for us. Jose Alvarado doesn't interest me. Not at this stage. I don't think adding a reliever is that good. Tyro Estrada is pretty solid. But I don't need yet another second baseman, is my problem. That isn't something that interests me. Oof. That is a rough control, and that's why he's not better than he is. That's oof. I don't think I'm interested in him. Wei Chi Huang. I'm not opposed to him. I'm just not that excited. I guess the big value of Mr. Huang here is that he is league minimum, which means if he is pitching effectively, we're getting a nice return for that. What is it going to cost me to add him to my team? Pretty much non-factors up and down, but I still don't think I'm going to do it. Or am I? Alton Davis has potential, especially if we make him into a reliever. I think he's actually better. See, I don't think this interests me either. I'm not getting good trade offers, which doesn't surprise me. I don't really have a lot to offer. I could trade Blake Trinan. Um, like here's the thing: I can suck with him. I can suck without him. If I can get a nice return, I think trading him makes sense. I'm gonna get greedy though. I'm gonna ask for a prospect package and see What kind of interest I can drum up? Um, three mediocre starters is not a good package. Oops, I didn't realize that veterans checked. I definitely don't want to get a veteran for him. That defeats the purpose of trading him. Yeah, I just want a rookie. Sterling Thompson is fine. He's fine. I'm not like if we acquired him. Dylan Jorge would be pretty decent too. Ishmael Mina is less exciting. Let's try to get Jorge and Thompson. If we can get that, I will trade. I will trade Trinan, and I'll be pretty happy about it. Here we go. Okay, this really excites you. Let's try to get greedy. How about Kyle Karros? I can add Kyle Karros. I think it's Eric Karros' son, if I'm not mistaken. Robert Kalaz? Okay. That's where we get. That's where he draws the line. That's where he's like, you absolute buffoon. Fair. How about Gregory Sanchez? Gregory Sanchez is a really good pitcher. Like, he's really, really good. But I'm not giving you Noah Schultz for him. That's for certain. Let's back that up a little bit. How about Wellington Herrera? No. Can't acquire Ronnie Harper. Sad. You Junior Herrera? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Is that the kind of guy I'm interested in? No. Man, you guys really like your relief pitchers. You're like, how fucking dare you? Like, whoa, settle down, man. Brody Brucht is really good. If we can develop him, okay. Can I get one more? Am I getting greedy? Probably, but I think this is the time to be greedier. This is where greed is good. Yes, I will happily accept whoever that was. Jack Mahoney. Juan Valera. Okay. And some international bonus pool room. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's do it. Now I do have some interest in maybe acquiring a reliever. Maybe. I'm looking for somebody inexpensive that I could possibly keep next year. Brock Stewart fills that bill. Can I get Brock Stewart and what will it cost me? A whole lot of nothing, realistically speaking, here. Wilfred Veras just doesn't interest me. I will shortlist him just to see how he turns out, but he's not that interesting a player in my opinion. No, that's not true. He actually is pretty good. I have to keep remembering I don't have good outfielders, so somebody that's even not a good outfielder is somebody that's still of interest to us. Yeah. What if I gave you $5 million? What if I gave you $8 million? I mean, I have nothing but money. So if you want $9 million, I will spend $10 million, I guess, for Brock Stewart, maybe. You know what? Fuck off. You're just trolling me at this point. I can find somebody who's more eager to get rid of their reliever. Don't be a silly sausage. I'm not gonna get Jose Alvarado. That just doesn't make sense to me. Ryan Presley is a possibility. It's not a possibility. The thing is, I'm not that desperate for a reliever. Like, even if we suck, like, I can't, it's not like it's gonna make that big a difference in the long run. Joe Mantiply? No thanks. But I'm not gonna trade for a reliever. He's not at least a 50. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time. Kenley Jansen, I could be interested in. It's also gonna make the fans happy, so I'm into it. I mean, Cassius Thomas is nothing special. I feel like if I want to make a deal, I have to be willing to give up a little bit. But I think I'd rather give you Larson. So here you go. And this is purely because somebody needs to pitch. And I think he's as good as anybody. I think we got to give Caleb Ferguson an extension. I think he's the only like quality reliever I have that is worth keeping around. So let's make this happen here. Give me a couple team options if you don't mind. That would make me a very happy camper. Yep, cool. That's good. And I think Caleb Johnson's going to get a much bigger role in the not too distant future. In fact, use him more often, please. Yeah. Cool. Nice. I have two offers here. Brendan McKay, don't really care. Jaden Fielder, don't really care. I mean, Jesse Franklin, Ironhead called it, has really crashed. I probably need to think about moving on from it anyway, but this isn't it. This isn't that offer. That doesn't interest me. But I will trade Jesse Franklin. I do think Jesse Franklin, if he has any value left, is a good player to trade right now. And we can call it like Braden Montgomery or somebody. I probably should have traded him earlier. Yeah, nobody wants him anymore. That's fair. I think I'm fine. I don't think I want to do any more trading. I think we've had a productive deadline. Remember, we need sexy players on short contracts that we can turn into prospects. That's our goal. That is how we do it. Although I do think we're going to have to make some moves in the not too distant future. I think we can still wait. Like, the question is, what are we trying to accomplish? We're not trying to win this year. If we do win this year, fantastic. But it's not what we're actually here for. What we're here for is setting up this franchise to be successful in the future. And that's going to mean some growing pains because I'm not going to sit there and spend a whole bunch of money on like free agents or anything because that's just stupid at this point in our thing here. We're not one player away. We're not two players away. We're not three players away. We're like 30 players away from being a quality team. So we're just going to have to suck it up for right now. Enjoy what we do have. And then put ourselves in a position so that at some point we can push in a couple of chips and make an impact. Now, all bets are off if the right young player becomes available. Sean Burke, I would like you to rehab, please. Yeah. We need more green numbers and above. That's what we need. We just need more better players. Noah Schultz has been awesome. Do we get cheeky? If we get cheeky, what does cheeky look like? If we ask for a 10-year deal, That is an incredibly reasonable contract, and yet I don't think it's worthwhile. I don't think we make that deal yet. Um, Too much is riding on his left arm, both figuratively and realistically. So I don't want to call him up early. I just don't think that's a smart idea. I don't want to lock him up, is what I meant to say. Sorry. Roster expansion. Let's go. Okay, I want to give some more players at bats. I think we've learned what we're going to learn about a lot of the people in this major league roster, and what I've learned is that they suck, which is not surprising. I mean, I wasn't necessarily expecting genius level talent from every player, but I definitely wanted Cam Fisher to go off. That's kind of fun. That's kind of fun. Averson, keep working, bro. You are right there. You are right there from actually getting genuine um a major league roster spot. You're right there. Okay. Luciano up to the majors. Chivilli up to the majors. Burke up to the major. Oh, the roster's full. Oh, that's right. Roster is only 2 spots, isn't it? That's right. Game, I'm gonna let you set this up any way you like for the last month of the season. Go nuts. I don't know why we're banning Kyle Teal last, but I just said go nuts, so nuts is what you shall do. I don't want to get lots of players experience, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to a 6-man rotation now. I don't think that's good. I think that's a fine and good thing to do. We're just going to let it ride the rest of the season. We've learned a lot about this team, and not all of it has been good, but we have learned things. And the most important thing is that most of the people on this roster are very, very fungible. Um, Apart from Schultz, Teal, Merdoff, and maybe a couple other players, there's not really anybody who's got a guaranteed spot next year. I mean, I didn't expect we'd make the playoffs, so yeah. Not password. Oh no. Outfielder call up Braden Montgomery. Anybody? No, it's too soon, isn't it? Oh, I had him locked. I should have been promoting him to AAA. That was on me. Whoops. Let's get Wilfred Veras up in the major leagues. I think that's a smart idea. Are we genuinely benching the best hitter on the White Sox? No. That's stupid. Oh, I guess he's not the best hitter on the White Sox anymore. Still pretty good, though. Still pretty good. Oh, right. I did mean to call him up, didn't I? Hmm. Hmm. Shane Smith go back to the minors, I guess, and then Sean Burke can come back. I just wanted to pitch in relief. There's really nothing of interest for me from to do anything else. Yeah. I mean, that's really rough. That is not good. That makes me sad. He's not going to be ready for opening day, I don't think. That sucks. I mean, I guess this is how Arteaga gets his major league debut, right? Do all the things. I mean, I'm here for it. If Arteaga turns out to be what I think he could be, then, I'm happy to let Madroth play like second base or something next year. I'm glad I didn't offer Madroth a long-term contract because he might not be able to earn it. Might be like, fuck you, man. If we have a single hitter over 3 WAR, I would be utterly shocked. In every definition of the word shocked. And if there was, it probably would have been Weedroth, right? Or Mydroth? Yeah, 2.5 wins. That's probably as good as we've got on this roster right now. That's just how it is, guys. That's just how it is. We did not win 70 games this year. I didn't genuinely think that we would. Um, we're probably going to need to at least add one top tier bat if we're gonna get any kind of realistic chance to be successful. So something I'm definitely interested in next season is I'm definitely interested in finding a good young player, a good young hitter, and adding him to the lineup. Even if it costs us some money. I think we're at the stage where a good example could be something really good for us. And I think I'm into that. I think I'm into that. Not Fraser Ellard, that guy. However, will we survive as a franchise and indeed as human beings? Neat. Shane Panzini was the best pitcher in high A. That's fun. That's a fun fact. I'm here for that. The Braves are not defending the world title from last year. You want to start a charity? Sure. You know what? I'm good with that. I think that's a worthwhile cause, Kenley. Well done. It's Baltimore versus LA. Didn't that actual World Series happen in like the 70s or the 80s? I want to say like Jim Palmer was on that team. I have to find that out now. I'm curious if I'm. Damn, Dodgers, you look like fucking chumps. You got raffle stomped. What a year for the Orioles, though. What a great, great year for them. They're like the anti White Sox, if you want to think about it. I got a season score of 1. That's hilarious. That is really funny. New budget. People leaving. We already know that. We're going to make some decisions early next episode. I have a trade proposal now. Yeah, Cole Emerson is a good player. He's actually a really good player. However, he's got some deep flaws in his game, namely the fact I don't think he's going to hit in the major leagues. Nice glove, though. He's a useful utility guy. But I'm not going to give you Fairbanks or Garcia for him. Of my second baseman, I think Bryce Matthews I would part with for him. We'll see if that, if how that makes you consider. This is fine. I did promise something. Ethan Katz, you're fired. Marcus Thames, you're fired. This is going to be an interesting open next episode because we've got a lot of coaches to hire. But I think it's going to leave us in a better position in the long run if we're able to get really high quality coaches to train up our players and make us one of the best organizations in the league, which I think is genuinely possible. Yeah. Cool. Oh, how did the season go? Are there any bright spots? Is there anybody that we can say, you know what? That looks pretty good. I mean, Aurelvis Martinez was a giant dumpster fire. Would have been better off playing literally nobody instead of playing him. Most other guys were level between replacement level and below replacement level. Kyle Teal was good. Kyle Teal and Chase Maydroff both had good seasons. Both of them were good players. That's it for the offense. Oh my lord, does this lineup need a lot of work if we're ever going to be remotely competitive? Like, we had to be the worst in the American League, right? Yeah. Pitching, I'm a little bit higher on. I think we've actually got a pretty okay start to a quality rotation here. Um, Noah Schultz was great. Kyle Wright was really good. Other people were varying levels of acceptable, and Jonathan Cannon sucked. Well, okay, yeah, I'm into it. I think we genuinely have a couple of really young, exciting stars that we can build around. Hagen Smith would look better if he'd pitched more. It's not his fault he only got 60 innings in the major leagues this year. Caleb Ferguson had a really good year in the bullpen. Really, really good year. We also needed a much better defense. We need a lot of things to go better next season. Um, there is a universe where we could make the postseason with a couple of good players. I don't know if this is that universe though. I do know that there's going to be a lot of easy arbitration decisions, and the fact that I'm probably not going to be resigning them. But we'll talk about that next episode. Until then, I hope you've been enjoying the series. Catch me on Monday. I'm going to be talking about pitching statistics, and how to figure out what a good pitching statistic looks like. So hopefully you enjoy that. Um, Otherwise, thank you as always for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to share any of the reminiscences of players you might have encountered in real life. That'd be really cool for me. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and until next time, this has been Guardian, and I bid you good day.